Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a casted game, a very special set between 3DB and Puppypaw for the August weeklies. This is going to be a banger of a set. Two fantastic players, both of who actually they've both qualified for the main event, the Redbull Wololo Legacy in Castle Heidelberg, Germany. There's still lots at stake. Not only is there prize money, there's also, the actual glory of winning a set like this. And of course, on a new map for the Road to Redbull Wololo, Kawasan. If you are all aware of Age of Empires 2, this is a very traditional or a very kind of fantastic map. It's been great for Age of Empires 2, and we're trying to recreate it, or at least Road to Redbull Wololo is trying to recreate it for Age of Empires 4. We've seen some fantastic games already, and today in the south corner of the map, in red, we've got Puppypaw playing as the Rus. In the north, in blue, 3DB playing as the Mongols. A really interesting Civ matchup, so let's just talk about this. The Rus are fantastic on water. As we know, they're one of the most efficient fishers of fish, because of the fact that their larger fishing ships don't actually have to go back to the dock to deposit, and that's incredibly efficient. So their food income will be super strong. And so the Rus are a very natural pick here for Puppypaw, but the Mongols, they're incredibly aggressive, so they can do quite a lot of damage early. Especially now that they have the girl from the new update, that little packed up little vehicle thing that you may have seen running around, acting as a scout at times. And it does mean their fuselage can be a little bit speedier than they used to be, and they can maybe challenge the waters a little bit better than they could have done in the past. Now, don't forget with the Rus, you do have to think about bounty, so that's what the Khan is doing here. B is killing these innocent deer, making sure that the Red Scout, Puppypaw, doesn't get the bounty. He does get one there, I think. In any case, Puppypaw will be very keen to get some of that gold income, because the Rus often do rely on that gold income, at least in the Dark Age, to be able to get about 200 to get them up to the Feudal Age. Let's take a look at the dock positions, because of course in Kawasan, if you've not seen it before, you have these two little square type ponds in Age of Empires 2. It's actually circular, but I don't think that's even feasibly possible in the map editor for Age of Empires 4. But in any case, you've got two ponds either side of the map, and you can see Puppypaw with the larger fishing ship already out and about. 3DB is docked as well. He's actually got two fishing ships already. Don't forget that the larger fishing boats do actually cost a little bit more. They do have the capability of switching to attack ships should he need to once he's in the Feudal Age. Khan doing great work, getting a couple of wolves here, denying that bounty. Of course, it's a bit of a mini game at the beginning of the game, just like this. So we've got some villagers coming out to build a barracks, going for the Aoe4, which is, it's kind of standard build so far. But what's interesting is that barracks is going down, so we could expect some early aggression. We will expect some early aggression. Probably going to be pressuring this dock with some spearmen, because of course Puppypaw, that fishing economy, that will be buzzing, and 3DB needs to do something about that. That is for sure. A couple of villagers coming forward here along the woodline. I'm not entirely sure what these guys are up to. Maybe going for a second dock, maybe getting a Kremlin, maybe? It's actually going to be a wooden fortress. Okay, fair enough. Makes sense. Go for a wooden fortress to protect that dock. The fishing economy, if it's protected, it can be incredibly strong for the Rus. Khan going towards the wooden fortress now, heading down south on the west, bringing some wolves here as Puppypaw. We can see Puppypaw is ready for the age up. I suspect it will be the Golden Gate. It has to be, really. It is indeed. And that Golden Gate is going to enable him to be quite flexible in the build as he goes throughout the game. Let's take a look at what the Mongols are doing with the spearmen. Are they coming out? They're double producing as well. They're going to start to make their way across the map, maybe looking to put some pressure. But the wooden fortress there is fantastic play by Puppypaw. I have to say, early on, it looks like Puppypaw is in a strong position. It's almost like the early ball play that players do when they get to the Feudal Age for the Rus, except he's going in the Dark Age and he's going for a dock. So he's going for the wooden fortress to protect that dock, and this is going to be a tough position for 3DB to pressure. He won't be able to do it on land. Will he be able to do it with a dock of his own? But Puppypaw keeping a scout, and it looks really solid here for Puppypaw. Puppypaw's fishing economy will be intact and will be very efficiently gathering that food. Now 3DB did invest in that barracks and the 4 spearmen, and this is an issue because it does now delay his uptime to the Feudal Age. So it's going to be a bit tricky. We'll need to see how this one pans out, because he's lost his Khan, 3DB, and he's going to have less scouting vision now on the map, and he's going to run his scout even towards the wooden fortress. Now with Puppypaw up to the Feudal Age, will he invest in arrow slits? There's quite a large possibility of that. 3DB now only looking just about to get to the village will start building his landmark now with the deer stones as expected. Building with about 5 villages. Looking to get a dock here. Does have one up already. I don't think Puppypaw has scouted that, but this is fantastic play. We've seen something very similar to this in yesterday's matchup between Kasva. And he essentially just can't let this dock go up, or if it does, you've got to take it down before the feud ledge comes in. So 3DB is going to miss out on 150 wood here. There's lots of investment in villagers. Does he have textiles? I mean, even if he doesn't, it's really not a big deal. He doesn't, and he's just going to siege this down. And things are looking rough here for 3DB. Puppypaw looking strong, getting this fishing economy rocking and rolling. 4 fishing ships for Puppypaw. And if you're 3DB, you're kind of struggling here. It does have a Logia attack ship here as well, Puppypaw. Now, these guys are pretty adept at killing land units, so the spearmen can't even get involved. The dock is on fire. That's 150 wood plus the building time down the drain for the Mongols. And Puppypaw looking to be well in control of this game, but let's not mince the words. There's lots of time left in this game for 3DB to kick back. As you get going quite heavy on wood. Going for some early knights and an archery range as well. So the military is going to start to pop out for Puppypaw. And he might actually look to get a wooden fortress back at home to boost that wood income. But he's quite happy at the moment. He's got this wooden fortress here and the lumber camp. So if you aren't aware of the Rus civilization, they do actually get a bonus here where the wooden fortress buffs up the lumber camp, meaning that these villagers return 20% more wood. So you can really imagine the wood income being strong here for the Rus. And now he's actually going to start putting pressure on the dock for the Mongols. And Spearman actually going to start to look towards the main base. It was possibly looking for a second town centre, the Puppypaw, and looks like they're going to keep the villagers there. Yeah, mining camp's not quite yet built, and now the archers are out for Puppypaw. So this will be a very nice play here. He's going to be able to afford that second town centre relatively quickly with the 5 villages on stone and the wood villagers. Scout just being annoying on the dock, but there is going to be... Oh, there was an attack ship coming out. He cancels it, goes for more fishing ships there. For the gold, it looks like 3DB going up for the fast castlewood. This is actually a bit of a tricky one for Puppypaw. So he's investing in going for a second town centre. And the food economy will be strong for Puppypaw. But this will delay his castle time, and that does give 3DB a little bit of a window here to be aggressive in the castle age when he gets there. It's going to be about Puppypaw defending himself and making sure he survives in his extended feud age, because it does look to be that way. It looks like he's going to get an extended feud age. But it's just coming forward, holy moly. He's going to look to try and take this down as well. If he's going to go for a... okay, I thought we might be going for a wooden fortress there. Can't quite afford it just yet. Actually going to send the villagers back. That was a bit ballsy, I have to say. Doesn't have textiles either, so a couple of villagers will be going down. A little bit of a lapse of concentration or judgment there for Puppypaw. Can be losing a lot of idle... It's going to be causing a lot of idle time. Maybe losing about 2 villagers in total, but 3DB going up to the castle age soon. Here we are, look at it. Step Redoubt going down, and that's going to give him a window of opportunity here. The Mongols can be incredibly aggressive, especially once they start destroying things. That raiding bounty really makes things steamroll, and makes them to pressure this. A couple of villagers idle there. That could have been a lot of wood income there for Puppypaw. Missed out on it. Up to 250 stone. 280. We'll be able to afford that second town centre relatively soon, especially because he's got a ticket in the Golden Gate. Might even sell some wood for some food for that. And buy, well, he needs 2 tickets actually. We need to buy the wood, but getting the wood in itself is 25 villages on wood, so we're going to get that second town centre. It'll be interesting, curious to see where he gets that, put that down. I mean, he's going to go down aggressive with it. It's going to go forward, or it's going to go nearer to the back. It's actually going to be near the deer. A very common play by the pro players to look to get that second town centre on a deer patch. That food income is going to be bolstered even further, but I'm not sure if Puppypaw has scouted out the castle age. He has indeed. The early knight dies underneath the town centre, but that is a life well spent, at least for the Rus and Puppypaw, because it gives him that valuable scouting information of 3DB going to the castle age. So now Puppypaw will need to secure his position, especially either with army or static defences. Maybe some wooden fortresses dotted around might be helpful, but second town centre means he will be committed to the castle age. Having said that, Puppypaw's food economy is looking so strong that he's not actually that far away from the castle age himself. He's going to actually get lots of villagers on gold, looking to rush up that castle age. He will need to, but in the meantime, he needs to defend himself. A couple of horsemen going forward without upgrades, without the castle age upgrades, and the Khan's being shot as well, but it is now the veteran Khan. You see, I think it's going to be the attack arrow that was used, and the second town centre does go down for Puppypaw. And I feel like Mongols aren't going to be able to take out the Rus quick enough before the Roos get up to the Castle Age himself. Look at the number of villagers he's got on gold. 12 of them. That Castle Age is going to be coming in very, very soon for Puppypaw, and he's going to have 2 town centres on the back of this. Let's take a look at the village count. 49 for Puppypaw, 46 for 3DB. It is worth mentioning, though, that there is 6 villagers on this gold, so add another 3, because the step down, if you're not aware, does add another 50% gold being dropped off, so it's the equivalent of, well, now he's added more, so it's 11 villagers there, so around about 5 extra villagers. But the second town centre is really going to be doing good work for Puppypaw in the mid to late game. Building up that economy, building up the resources, and when it does get up to the Castle Age, you'll have quite the economy to build units with. Going up with the Abbey and the Trinity, maybe looking to get some relics. I wonder whether the Mongols have been getting those. It doesn't look like it. No prayer tent here for 3DB. Oh, it does actually. I take that back. It does have a prayer tent. It's actually double producing the shaman. We don't see that all that often, and you'll need to secure those relic spots because, of course, with the Abbey of the Trinity, that will give the Roos the access to the warrior monk. Looks like a couple of knights going down the left side looking to protect that relic, and it is going to be a relic minigame now. We had the minigame of the deers and the bounty. Now we've got the minigame of the relics. You see there's so many berries here in the middle of the map. Could you imagine Delhi or the Abbasid on this map? It'd be pretty impressive in the mid game if they can access the central part of the map with the berries. But of course, it's all about the early game. That's what's going to make a huge difference here. Puppypaw getting some more archery ranges down. Let's take a look at the production building numbers. 3 archery ranges going for horse archers, is it? Holy smokes, we haven't seen these guys in a long time. I do love this unit. We don't really see it being loved that much. Doesn't get shown on too many competitive gameplays though. It'll be exciting to watch that happen today. Alright, now with Puppypaw up to the next stage, it will be that race for the relics. You can see he's already getting the waypoint towards the relic on the east side. No relics have been coming in for 3DB just yet, and that is a bit of a concern because he did get up to the Castle Age significantly earlier. And you can see Knight here, 2 knights just going to harass the gold line. Does get a charge attack, not much more. But it's more that he's idling the economy, and whilst these knights will suffer some HP loss, villagers have been garrisoned in for the town centre. And this is a bit greedy for 3DB. He went for the relic, which is further away. Puppypaw is in the Castle Age himself. And he could have had a relic in by now had he gone for a bit more of a conservative approach. He does have 1 relic coming in now, so that's going to be used for the gold income. No relics in for the Roos just yet, but he's keeping an eye on them, that's for sure. The one on the east guarded well. And this should be the Mongols relic as well. We'll see if that's the one he goes for next or not, whether he goes for more of aggressive play with a relic a bit further out. There is that warrior monk bringing that in, riding along, carrying it on its back on the left side. Around the sacred site, 2 knights still running around. Quite a few horsemen they're chasing. This is actually quite decent for Puppypaw because, I mean, sure, the horsemen will slowly chase this down, but he's keeping 8 horsemen out of his base right now. 3DB realizes that he doesn't really want to keep chasing this if he doesn't have to, and he's going to go a bit more aggressive now. Warrior monk bringing a relic home. This is actually nice play. Very nice play. 1 relic is going to be brought home now for Puppypaw. Shaman not depositing it just yet. Will do soon. I'm sure you'll realise soon enough. And there's a mangonel being built on the field with quite a few spearmen and lancers. And you get the feeling 3DB is going to start to up the tempo here in the game. Maybe looking to be a bit more aggressive. We shall see how aggressive he is and how much he can do. I have to say, playing as the Mongols, it always feels like you're on a timer, especially with the Roos on this kind of map with the fishing economy. But what I will say is that the fishing economy is now almost running out. Let's take a look at what's left. Yeah, not much food left. This food does regenerate though. That is important to note. But again, villagers being idled. A lot of them on the gold. What's quite nice for 3DB spawn though is that 2 gold veins are quite close to his main town centre. If this was further out, that would be a lot more pressure on that, I suspect. And Spearman on his own won't be able to take out 2 knights. A decent amount of damage. He does get taken out, but we hear relics being picked up again. I'm not entirely sure who picked that up. Oh, what's going on here? Notice that 3DB's hasn't got his relics garrisoned in. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe he was looking to try and get some sort of Wololo going off, but maybe he did, maybe it was an accident. Not entirely sure. In any case, he's missing out on some gold income. And he's actually going to be aggressive here. 3DB does have a lot of military on the field. 44 for Puppypaw, 60 for 3DB. It's going to be Spearmen versus Knights on the front line. There are Horse Archers in behind. And the lovely play here by Puppypaw is the Horse Archers are incredibly mobile. They'll be able to micro down the spears And with the Knights in front, it'll be a fantastic meat shield. Now, don't forget with the Puppypaw Civilization, the Roost, if he's lacking gold, he can keep the Horse Archers and keep scouts being produced from hunting cabins and keep the meat shield up. Because you see the Knights there giving a window of opportunity, some damage per second output for the Puppypaw's Horse Archers. The Horse Archers are going to take out the crossbows. This is not great for 3DB. He's being pushed back. The Khan has been killed. And Puppypaw looking solid here at this stage of the game. 16 minutes on the clock. Oh, this is so innovative. 3DB getting some springholes, looking to take out some of the fishing ships with that. That's actually a very nice play. Very smart to think of this. I mean, this is why I love watching 3DB and also Casva. Both players are incredibly good at theory crafting, strategizing, doing things like this. We have seen this before, to be fair, but we haven't seen it in a long time. The springholes being used on land to take out naval. The Shaman might be picked off here. A few more Shamans going to help a brother out. Slowly the army is building up for 3DB. All a mass of Horse Archers now. Thing is, when you start to get to a critical mass of these Horse Archers, they're incredibly difficult to take, but something that is very adept at taking them out are these Mangonels hiding in the Stealth Forest. So 3DB is going to need a counter unit. Maybe looking to get some Archers and Mangonels, but he needs an answer to this army composition because Knights and Horse Archers can be incredibly powerful. And it's going to be a keep there on the front lines, protecting that gold income. This is actually a very nice keep, keeping an eye on these two gold veins. That's going to be important to secure as the game goes on. There's plenty of gold elsewhere on the map, but he needs to make sure he gets a steady income of gold. Sacred Site being taken on the left side. I'm sure that'll be decapped by Puppypaw once he notices. On the east side as well. And that's an interesting play by 3DB. He does have a couple of relics, and he's got 2 of the Sacred Sites. Got 3 of the relics so far. Horsemen are going to be staying at home. Second town centre going down, but relatively late, all things considered. 58 villagers versus 87. That economy is going to translate into army, and that army is going to translate into a very aggressive push. And the Horse Archers are diving in. They're looking to take out villagers, and this is what we say. When you have this massive Horse Archers, you can one-shot practically anything. Lancers are going to try and take out some of the mass, but he's not going to be able to. This is actually a big dive, though. Puppypaw staying maybe a bit longer than he should. Maybe he's out-welcomed to his stay, and the Spearmen are going to run in with the Khan using the maneuver arrow, and he's actually lost his mass. Puppypaw diving in there. He did get a lot of economy damage, but I'm not sure if it was worth it. I mean, ultimately, Puppypaw is looking strong on the population, so he won't mind losing military at this point, especially because he's got the economy to replenish. But that was a big sacrifice. Time will tell if that was worth it or not. It can often be incredibly strong to take out villages from your opponent, especially with the idle time as well involved. Now, Puppypaw using his mobility, he does escape with about 14 Horse Archers, so he's running back home. We see, I think it was a trebuchet, was there something flying around there? It's actually a spring order placement in the outpost, looking to pressurize that dock. Of course, taking out the dock, all it will do is stop the production capacity. It won't stop the fishing. Quite a few villages, 18 here on the western side. God, that could be a juicy spot to attack for 3DB if he notices. Wooden Fortress can only actually garrison 8 villages on the side. It's getting a spring on placement. It will have an extra protection on the right side now, but we're looking to decap that right-sided Sacred Site. It will be successful doing that. Looks like it's crossbows and mangonels, the army of composition here for 3DB. And trouble is, if he loses a mangonel or 2, the Horse Archers will run riot. Horse Archers being kept at home. Puppypaw slowly but surely building up his economy back at home. Has 2 relics of his own. Going for some more archery rangers. Looks like he's going to be committing to the feudal age a little bit more. Puppypaw starting to produce some trebuchets. Getting the siege on the field, and now we feel like there's going to be a bit of a build up to a major fight here. Quite a few outposts going here on the left side. The thing for 3DB is that with Horse Archers, you always have to be on your guard with static defenses. You do see some outposts going up with springled emplacements. That's going to be key for the Mongols because, of course, with the Roost and the Horse Archers, they can always ride in and out, get some economy damage, and raid really effectively, especially with the Mongols not having access to walls. Okay, Springles get some good value here. Not enough to one-shot 2 of them, but we'll start taking out the fishing ships. But most of the fish has been taken, so the Roost won't mind too much. And we talked about it earlier, how this western side is a bit of a juicy target, and we see 3DB now starting to put some pressure. Villagers will escape, though, quite nicely. You can see some microing here, but One thing to note about the spears, whilst they are a little bit vulnerable to the mobility of the horse archers, with the maneuver arrow from the Khan, they can often catch up and get a decent amount of damage. Vision ships all but gone here on the right side. I think really 3DB is doing him a bit of a favour at this point because it's going to free up population space. Not that he's struggling, because he is only actually at 147 population, 95 villages with 52 military. Compare that with 3DB at 69 villages and 63 military. Now he's starting to pressurize this left side, but I don't think Puppypaw will mind this too much. It buys him some time. Going quite heavy on stone, maybe looking to get a second to keep. Gonna get a wooden fortress on that stone. He'll need to protect that position if he wants to get enough for a keep. Larger attack ship trying to get some damage on the Springald. Probably won't be able to manage. I might be able to take one of them out. Oh, it doesn't actually. Dies. It sinks before it gets another volley out. And as you can see, Knights again raiding. This is the problem with the Mongols. When they're passive like this, when they're not attacking, they can get raided to death without the presence of walls. There are two town centres next to each other though, so that will offer some measure of security. And a couple of spearmen now being brought back. Try and mop this up, but still 3 Knights running riot. This is not what 3DB will want. He's floating a lot of wood and gold. Might be needing to get some siege. He's getting a bit of a counter raid on his own on the right side with a couple of horsemen on the deer carcasses there. Now Puppypaw starting to put some wooden fortified palace walls on the left side. He's been doing the raiding. He wants to protect himself from the raids himself. See a decent number of army here. A mixture of crossbows and archers. A couple of spearmen dotted in, and again on the right side, a bit of raiding going on. The game is certainly going longer than I expected it will do. We're heading into the mid to late castle age now. Looks like Puppypaw has enough for a keep. It'd be interesting to see where he goes for this keep. Will he be going for us on a sacred site? I suspect he might, because the timer has been activated, guys. So he will need to put some pressure on these sacred sites. And he's moving forward now with a heck of a lot of villagers. Puppypaw on a mission. He's looking to take 54... No, wait, not that many. It's 32. It's 32 villagers. He's going to get the dock up again. Because don't forget, the deep water fish does regenerate. So he won't want to give up this pool entirely. But with 3DB getting some static defenses there, that's going to be a nice position to defend with. But the keep is in a very nice position. Not only does it protect the sacred site, add some security there, it actually protects 2 gold veins, which could come into a significant importance as the game goes on. Significant amount of gold there. 12,000 to be exact, and Puppypaw might need to try and take down this outpost. It's probably going to be a bit frustrating here. He's going to rush it down with the villagers. West Sacred Site, very nice and secure with 3 outposts around it. Alright, it is quieting down now, guys, so the game was incredibly fast-paced on Kawasan earlier as the game started, but now we're seeing a bit of a transition, maybe both players building up a bit of an army in the Castle Age, maybe 1 or 2 of them, maybe both of them thinking about the Imperial Age. We need to have a look at that. Might be a case of who moves first. We've said it before, we'll say it again, when you do age up, that leaves you vulnerable. But I think both players are a little bit tentative of doing that. The Knights are going to try and rush in and try and take out the Trebuchet. It won't happen because the villagers are on hand to repair, and there is a keep there, so the Lancers do die for nothing. Keep on the right side, looking to secure that gold vein. But the issue is that there's a lot of army here for 3DB, so he's going to be actually denying quite a lot of villagers here. There's a lot of idle time. There is going to be boiling oil, but the Trebuchet is on hand to try and start taking these down. 2 to be exact, and guarded by crossbows and Mangadaos and Springalds. So quite a lot of siege on the field for the Mongols, and a couple of horse archers going around the left side, looking to snap those shaman. Other than that, he won't be able to get too much more damage, and you feel it's a bit stalematey at the moment. Both players actually in a relatively secure position. Neither player you feel has a sort of a superb advantage, because the village count, again, relatively similar. There's only 20 in it. And that will be because 3DB does have more military, so this could go either way at the moment. Mangonels on hand. They could do some big damage on the crossbows. The crossbows are actually standing and fighting. I'm not sure about this with Puppypaw. Big damage with the Mangonels, and now he has to head back. The wooden fortress gets taken out as well. Now the Trebuchet is going to focus on the keep, with the Mangonels side by side them, and the Springalds are menacing as well, and Sacred Site on the right side looking to be capped by Puppypaw. You'll want that gold trickle. Slowly but surely, both players making their way towards the middle of the map, where we feel the contest is going to take place. And there's a Trebuchet actually taking the dock out for Puppypaw. So interestingly, he's docked himself on the second pond. And Puppypaw giving up water, at least for now. Yeah, Knights are just going through to see what they can find. Some scouting info more than anything, I suspect. Might be able to even get some raiding damage. We shall see how much he's able to achieve with that. 2 trebuchets still firing off. Might need a third. 2 trebuchets actually taking quite a long time to get rid of this keep. And this keep is actually buying Puppypaw a lot of time to react. And it looks to be that he's not really investing in a huge amount more horse archers, actually. It looks to be that he's going for crossbows and siege himself. So it is turning into siege fair here. 2 mangonels, Springles himself. It's going to be about micro here. The Roosts do actually get incredibly strong in the siege, especially when they get to the Imperial Age if they go up with the high armory. But of course, Imperial Age is not really on the cards just yet, although Puppypaw is edging towards there. He's got enough gold, lacking the food, and the Mongols are lacking both in comparison. He's getting a decent amount of gold though, 3DB. It's just the food that is really lacking. The keeper has been taken out on the right side, leaves him a bit more vulnerable. Army is going to start to head forward for the Mongols, played by 3DB on the right side. And when he does edge forward, if he can take out these static defenses again, Puppypaw only has 1 wooden fortress. That's 8 spots. 8 villagers will be the lucky villagers to garrison inside them if he decides to do so. But it might be just more for the vision because these villagers need to head back. They look incredibly vulnerable. Springle's going to get fires off on the wooden fortress. Mangonel's getting a few shots as well. Just get the feeling there's not enough military here for Puppypaw. I think Puppypaw was thinking about going to the Imperial Age. He's going to maybe needing to think twice. He does have the food for it. Now he's spending it because he'll need to. That's for sure. Down the center though, he might be getting some raiding action here. Some horsemen charging into the veteran horsemen for the Mongols. And it's horseman versus horseman. It's going to be relatively equal there. But let's take a look on the right side because this is where the main action is. This is where the big fight is. Contesting the sacred site. You get the feeling this is going to be down to the micro. Whose micro will be better? The trebuchets unpacked. They're going to get some fires off. Mangonels do get some shots off, but they're a little bit out of position. The horsemen are going to rush in for Puppypaw. Going to be able to snipe out maybe 1 mangonel. Maybe not though, because there are spearmen in behind. So even if 1 mangonel does go down, a lot of the horsemen will go down with it. And this is actually a very nice play by 3DB. 1 mangonel still alive. Concern is for 3DB though is that there are still 2 mangonels on the field for Puppypaw. Puppypaw manages to win the Springald fight, and that's actually very, very key. These 2 Springalds, they'll be able to take out the traction trebuchets. And with the traction trebuchets out, the steam will be going here for 3DB. The crossbows now unchallenged because there's no more mangonels for 3DB. 3DB lost the siege. It comes down to siege. The Mongols lost the siege first, and because of that now, Puppypaw looking strong. He'll be able to push this back. And 1 trebuchet does get sniped out by the 4 Springalds there on their way out. And 3DB has to head home with his tail between his legs. Maybe a stinger between his legs, actually. He is a bee after all. 3DB looking to get his attention more onto the middle, actually building his Springalds in the stealth forest, so it's quite a good chance that Puppypaw won't see that. That is indeed the case. These sorts of things make a big difference. You don't necessarily notice it if you're looking on the revealed mode, but Puppypaw won't know about those Springalds, so he does have so many of his own. It doesn't matter. Puppypaw has 7 Springalds. And that's going to be a problem for 3DB. The siege won't be able to live here for 3DB, not with these Springalds in play. He's got the crossbows in front and the mangonels, so it's turning into a siege fight, and Puppypaw has the better siege. The dock will be going down for the Mongols though, because there's no way to protect that. He's had this dock on the left side for a significant period of time now. With Puppypaw looking so strong in the early to mid game, it's really difficult to tell because 3DB has been able to develop a large military. But this is where things are going to spice up. Puppypaw has gone up to the Imperial Age, and this is a window of opportunity for 3DB to be aggressive. He knows that he's invested a lot of resources to get up to that Imperial Age. But can 3DB pressurize the situation? He doesn't have enough food to go up to the Imperial Age himself. He's going to dive in. He's going to take out some of the Springals with the Lancers. There's quite a few crossbows there for Puppypaw. If he can get some of those Lancer numbers down, that could become a problem. There's still plenty of Springals on the field. There are 2 Springals there from 3DB to try and take care of this, but no kind of mangonels on the field. That's what 3DB possibly needed. He's fighting underneath the keep here. I think 3DB is diving a bit too much. He's committing too hard. I think he feels the pressure. I think he knows he's on a timer, especially with Puppypaw in the Imperial Age. You can see the dead carcasses, the dead bodies of the Mongols' army, and now he's going to have to head back. The siege is predominantly intact for Puppypaw. Puppypaw is going to be living here. He's going to be seeing another day, especially with these Springals, and you just get the feeling 3DB lost a lot of military here. He may need to go up back and get to the Imperial Age himself, but he lost a lot of military. Let's take a look at the numbers. 49 military for Puppypaw, 49 for 3DB, and that's an issue because with equal military numbers and arguably a better military composition here for Puppypaw, the Imperial Age is in for Puppypaw. So he'll have the tech advantage. Let's just check what he did go up with the Imperial Age with. It must be the High Armory. It's just about a case of actually locating where it was. Not really sure where it is. Where the heck is it? It's got to be here somewhere. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. It is indeed got 2 siege workshops within the influence. Now, the High Armory itself decreases the cost of siege engines by 20%. It looks like Puppypaw's going to try and solidify his position with the keep. I'm not sure if that's going to go up because there's quite a lot of military there. This might force another engagement out of 3DB. You can see 3DB's food income is starting to rise. He may be looking to get the Imperial Age. He's going to need to do so. Really reaching the population cap that Puppypaw is on the right side. What's going on here? Holy smokes, he's got to keep there on the gold. Puppypaw putting pressure on the right side, and he's got wooden walls. He's got the palisade walls. This is actually a fantastic play by Puppypaw. He's kept his opponent engaged in the center. In the meantime, he kept me engaged in the center. I didn't even see it on the right side. He's got to keep on the right side, and that's going to be a good staging ground for that sacred site. The gold trickle is going to come in now. He's got the military advantage, and with that military advantage, he goes forward with plenty of villagers to get a keep at a very central location. Incredibly strong position here. If he can get that keep up, there's still plenty of food resources there on the field. Mangonels might unpack here and get some incredible damage. Streltsy coming out. The Imperial Age army starting to really take effect. You see the Streltsy there in and amongst the Springolds. Going to protect them very nicely. Horsemen there for some meat shield as well. Villagers garrison aside with keep, and slowly but surely Puppypaw is pushing 3DB back. 3DB is losing map control. There is the Imperial Age, but problem for 3DB, he took a bad fight there when he's going up. 26 military. You feel that Puppypaw has the advantage now. Puppypaw, knowing that his opponent is in the Imperial Age, we've said it before, we'll say it again, we've said it twice in this game in particular. When you age up, that is often when you're most vulnerable. You spent so many resources to get to that next age. Now Puppypaw will sense that. He's got plenty of Streltsy, and he's going to be pushing forward slowly with Streltsy and Siege. This is the ultimate roost composition of army. Streltsy, Siege, crossbows. You can't really ask for more. It's going to be incredibly hard to crack this, because how does he? He may need to get mangonels here, 3DB, for the Streltsy, but with the number of Springolds in play for Puppypaw, those mangonels just won't last for very long, and here comes the push. Slowly but surely, 3DB is going to start moving his buildings back. He's going to be moving his production buildings back and try and move them towards a safer location. The problem for 3DB, if he loses these relics in the prayer tent, that's going to be a golden income that he's not going to have. The Streltsy just going to be gunning down those knights, and there it is. Puppypaw takes the first game in this best of 3. 3DB bowing out with a strong performance and a great match on Kawasan. Game number 1 is over. We'll move swiftly on to game number 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 between 3DB and Puppypaw in this best of 3, with Puppypaw taking the first game of the set. It's going to be a spicy one on 4 legs. In the south corner of the map, we've got 3DB playing in red. So the colours have changed, which is a little bit annoying because it's going to be a bit confusing. But 3DB is playing in red in this second game. In the south as the Rus. In the north, Puppypaw playing in blue as the French. We've got the Rus coming out again on a hybrid map. So we've talked about it before. We'll say it again. The Rus are incredibly strong on maps like 4 Lakes, maps like Kawasan. So 3DB picking a very strong civ for this map, and he needs to get a win here. He needs to get this evened up. He needs to get this tied at 1-1 if he's to stand a chance of getting through and beating Puppypaw in this best of 3. But the French, incredibly strong in the feudal age. This is actually not a bad civ on 4 Lakes, that is for sure. Getting the dock early there on the North Pond. Puppypaw opting for the hunting cabin first before the dock. He wants the bounty. And as you can see, he's getting the bounty for the gold income. So what's really interesting to note about this map is 4 Lakes. We saw it yesterday with Kasva. The Rus wants to get onto the pond. They're incredibly strong. The French will want to try and deny that if he can. If he can get a sneaky dock and then get a hulk out in the feudal age, the Rus will struggle severely, because of course the Rus don't have access to the hulk in the feudal age as the French do, and the hulk is a bit of a beast. As the name suggests, holy smokes, that's a lot of sheep for 3DB. But of course, the sheep aren't hugely important, especially when you've got the food economy rocking and rolling on 4 Lakes. But we'll see, because 3DB needs to make sure if he does dock in the southern pond that he preserves it and he doesn't get docked himself. He doesn't get the opponent docking it, because if he does, if the French today manage to get docked on the southern pond, gets a hulk out, that's going to be a massive part of the Rus gameplay completely wiped out. So that will be something we need to keep an eye on and monitor. 2 wolves here on the second scout on the right side. And you can see 3DB, he notices the dock on the northern pond. It's going to be annoying. It's actually going to try and start torching it. Actually, he goes on. We want to try and get the bounty as you can, and he's actually going to pick up a third wolf. 140 bounties so far. He'll want to get to that magic 100, 250. He's getting wheelbarrow. Doesn't have enough gold for the next stage. He might need to bring the sheep home and kill them because he will struggle to actually get to the fuselage if he doesn't get 200 gold. I'm sure he will. Because he's actually picking up another... Yeah, he definitely will do because he's going to pick up the wolves. He's got a lot of wolves here, 3 of them. So the bounty is doing quite well for 3DB so far. And the fishing ships are now out for the French, 3 of them. It's only now that 3DB is going for a dock, so he's going to be... Now this is an interesting one because 3DB not really committing to docks and the fishing ships should mean that it should get up to the fuselage a little bit quicker. But of course, the fishing ships, when they're not there out and fishing, I mean, the fishing ships for the French here are going to pay themselves back a lot quicker, and that food income is going to really start to spiral out of control. 3DB is starting to get those palisade walls down. We've seen this being done before. He needs to prevent the French getting a dock here. And what better way to do it? To try and block him out physically with palisades. It will be a bit of a wood investment into doing that, but it just signifies that Puppypaw has recognized how important it is to keep the dock alive on the southern pond. French, doing French things. Looks like it's going to get up to the fuselage relatively soon, Puppypaw. I think I might be getting confused because Puppypaw was red last game. In any case, it's 3DP in the south. It's 3DB in the south protecting the fish. Puppypaw is going to go up with the School of Cavalry as expected with the French. It's actually going to be rushing it down quite significantly with 6 villagers. Sheep being brought back. Okay, now going up to the fuselage for the French, this is going to be pretty strong because if you can get some knights out, you might be able to start harassing the economy here. And 3DB will not want that. It's got a lot of wolves coming in though, quite a few of them. And that bounty is really starting to rise up. It's going to be way above the 250 mark and maybe itching even closer to the 350 mark. 2 villagers going to go forward. Is going to get Wooden Fortress. This is actually a very nice play by 3DB because this Wooden Fortress not only does it increase the amount of wood that's brought back home to the lumber camp, it also is going to act as a static defense. So if a knight does try and creep in, the knight won't get much joy, and palisade walls alongside the shoreline for 3DB does mean this is very nice and protected. He's going to have a strong fishing economy. Food, very nice and safe. Issue for 3DB is the gold. If you can get some palisade walls here across the map to the edge of the map, that would be incredibly strong because then you'll get that gold very nice and securely. Gonna go up with the Golden Gate. There comes out a knight almost for Puppypaw. It's queued up, will be making its way across the map, but by the time it does, you get the feeling that Puppypaw, that 3DB may be up to the fuselage at that time. It does have that Wooden Fortress nicely protected. The gold is going to become an issue. Especially if 3DB doesn't secure it with the barracks. He is getting a barracks himself. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't actually see the alert there. I'm going to have to sort that out. Let's see. Let's have a look. There's not a lot going on at the moment, so I don't mind doing that now. Let's have a look. Okay, that's that. We're back up with the alerts. Thank you for the follow. And we're going to be seeing 3DB getting up to the fuselage now. It means that he will look to try and get some defense here. We're going to get some spearmen on hand. He's going to be sensing the knights coming through. You see, the knights aren't even here yet. Comes out now. There is that age up though for 3DB. Holy moly. 3DB going for a dock on the right side as well. And if he gets this up, this is going to be incredibly strong because there's just very little that Puppypaw can do to deny this. A second dock on the eastern pond. That food income is going to be incredibly strong. And wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's actually enough space here for a dock. Puppypaw might manage it. Spearmen are on hand. 2 knights can manage to get through. This is actually really unfortunate for 3DB. He didn't wall up this part. Walled up so much of the pace. And Puppypaw might want to try and get an outpost here on the wood line. If he can do that, it will force 3DB to move towards another wood line. They were being put down for some horsemen. You just get the feeling the economy is going to start to spiral out of control with the second dock. Yeah, Puppypaw doesn't. It just doesn't feel like Puppypaw is putting on the pressure he needs to. Let's have a couple of villagers on stone, maybe looking to try and edge towards slowly that second town center. But now with the palisades down and out, 3DB going to wall that up, and he secures that wood line. Oh, the economy is going to be looking so strong for 3DB. 3DB is going to go to the castle age in quick time, especially if he starts to move villagers onto gold. Holy smokes. This is such a strong strategy here to get these palisades up. It feels like almost with the Roost, going against the Roost on 4 lakes, you maybe have to put some Dark Age pressure. Because the Roost are looking formidable. We've seen 4 lakes develop, the meta develop as EGCTV has continued to implement this map in the map pool, and the Roost are looking strong. Double stable. It might be the case that actually 3DB is committing to the feudal age here. It doesn't look like Castle Age on their plans. He's certainly got the military numbers on the field. Maybe looking to move out on the right side now. It's such a Puppypaw's dock. Such a Puppypaw's dock. Okay, that was rather confusing. They switched colours. It really made things confusing, but looks like 3DB was looking to try and find this dock. Trying to get a dock of his own. He'll run into the dock now. He'll notice it's there. This is pretty unprotected, so whilst Puppypaw does have 2 docks, this one is probably going to go down pretty quickly, and he's not the Roos. He won't be able to have those fishing ships working without the dock. The spears brace, the knights charge in. It takes a really terrible fight. Quite a few knights are going to be very low health. He does have chivalry, so without the death of a knight, these guys will heal up. Puppypaw will want to save that one. I actually assumed that this was 3DB's dock, but it isn't. You see, 3DB is definitely wanting to deny any sort of dock being placed down. Keeping in a Lodger attack ship there, just in case. He needs to protect that food eco. But a significant bit of food eco has been now nullified and idled there for Puppypaw. 10 minutes into the game almost is relatively passive. Double barracks. Okay, 3DB is going full feudal age. You can see it's getting so many military units. 12 for Puppypaw, 21 3DB. 3DB not interested in the castle age anytime soon, and I think he recognizes that because Puppypaw has invested in a double dock, he knows that Puppypaw won't be up to the castle age anytime soon, because he's obviously had to spend a lot of wood on these fishing ships that have been now idled. And this is a bit of an issue, because Puppypaw won't be in the castle age anytime soon. This gives a window of opportunity for 3DB to pressure in the feudal age. Puppypaw does have a couple of outposts, so you'll see this happening. They do have arrow slits, but that won't be enough to stop this. Really starting to push forward now. Plenty of horsemen on the field. The static defenses for Puppypaw will be going down. Just get the feeling that 3DB could be able to pile on the pressure here. Not sure Puppypaw was expecting such a feudal age aggression, but it is happening. And Puppypaw doesn't have enough army. He's going to trickle 1 or 2 knights in, but that's not going to be enough. He's going to need a lot more army in the field. We don't see the production buildings being put down. I worry for Puppypaw's position here. He only has 2 stables. The School of Cavalry and 1 stable. This is looking bad. Puppypaw has actually got quite a significant number of villagers on stone. It will help him get arrow slits, but that doesn't seem to be enough here. Because there's going to be spearmen, archers, and knights on the field for Puppypaw. Actually, horsemen, rather. Horsemen take a bit of an engagement there. Charge attack comes off for Puppypaw. A couple of knights going to be moving forward, but they're going to be debated into the stealth forest, into the spears, and the archers are behind. And the knights will retreat. Puppypaw notices in time, but the archers do get 2 volleys off. The archers going to need to head further back. The knights are needing to move further back, and the chase continues. 3DB hounding them down with the horsemen. Does get an engagement. Spearmen going to try and get some hits off if they can, but the archers in behind. We can take a very quick look at what's happening on the right here. Knights charging in, going to get some damage on the main town centre. Won't be able to do too much though. Underneath the town centre, the arrows will destroy them. The knights are flooding back. Villagers off the wood line. This is going to be a huge engagement, and the problem for Puppypaw is the spears. He can't engage with the spears in play. There's no archers on the field. Going straight knights, this is not going to be enough. You get the feeling Puppypaw might need to call it soon because he's under so much pressure. Now with that engagement off of wood for a significant period of time, he's been idled here. Those 2 knights do go down in the end in the town centre, but we needed to obviously keep an eye on the bigger fight here. The bigger picture is this aggression. You feel like if 3DB does have a blacksmith, he does have siege engineering. I think you're going to see a lot of villagers being pulled over to wood and siege engineering because it's in play. Rams might be coming out very soon. Woodline is looking very precarious for Puppypaw. He's having to rely on stragglertree. Doesn't really have another safe woodline. This woodline on the left side is relatively exposed. 2 villagers going towards on the left side. A 3rd dock. Now this is actually very, very greedy. This is one of the reasons why Puppypaw can't afford the feudal age army. He's invested another 150 wood on that dock and here as well. It would set him up for the mid to late game, but I don't know if he's going to get there because now the normal dock's beginning to be sieged down by horsemen and spears with the archers behind, and this is looking bad for Puppypaw. It doesn't really have the military he needs. He's only got knights, but the spearmen are going to be countering that. And you get the feeling that 3DB has played this fantastically well. He's recognized, he's read the game nicely. He knows that his opponent's gone for multiple docks and multiple ponds, and that means he won't be able to afford military. And the mixed army composition here for 3DB. Spearman brace on the front line. Puppypaw looking to take some fights here, but I don't think he's going to be able to win this one. Spearman getting huge amounts of damage. Archers are behind. Horsemen acting as meat shield. The knights are tumbling down. And the town centre fire is just not enough. Only 15 villagers are allowed to garrison inside that town centre now since the recent patch, and the aggression just keeps on building and building. Puppypaw under a lot of pressure, and he isn't able to handle it. He calls it there. He taps out. Puppypaw calls it. 3DB takes the second game of the set, and he pushes it to a third game. Guys, this is going down to the wire. Third game coming right up. It all comes down to this. The third game of this best of three between 3DB and Puppypaw played on Altai on the west. We've got 3DB playing in blue as the Abbasid dynasty. And on the right, Puppypaw playing as the Chinese in red. This is going to be an incredible match. I can feel it. The winner takes it all here, basically. The winner of this match goes through to the semi-finals, and we see Puppypaw immediately going for the deer. An interesting play, an interesting build. We see now survival techniques is actually a lot cheaper these days. 25 wood and 75 gold. It'd actually be really interesting to see if Puppypaw is going for that. Hasn't clicked it yet. Might be looking to collect some gold actually from the mill. And then he would actually be able to afford it. We shall see if Hedgie invests in it. I'm not sure if he will or not. But the Abbasid dynasty today being played by 3DB. Now starting to go on to the gold. And needs to finish that house. Oh, has he been housed? I think he might have been temporarily housed there for a second. That's actually a bit unfortunate. I'm not entirely sure. In any case, it's interesting to see if 3DB goes for a second town centre, which is very commonly done by the Abbasid dynasty. The Chinese, on the other hand, can be incredibly flexible. They can think about going Song dynasty, 1 town centre. They can think about going 2 town centre, Song dynasty. They can think about going fast castle. But against the Abbasid dynasty, you feel like in a straight up fight, the Chinese should fare well in the late Imperial Age game. But the Abbasid dynasty are no joke in the mid to late feudal age, so we shall see if he decides to put some pressure. It's a bit tricky on Altai. Especially on a relatively closed spawn like this. It's actually a very closed map, guys. This is yeah, I mean, Altai can be very variable. Sometimes you can have a forward position which is very open. Not today. Not today. Between the two cliffs, there's a couple of wood lines that are incredibly easy to wall up here for the Chinese. And you do see the House of Wisdom being placed down up to 3DB. So you just wonder whether 3DB will be aggressive, whether he'll play the late game. He's actually going for the lumber camp in a relative forward position. A bit awkward there. May need to wall that off if he's under any feudal age pressure. With 3 villages in gold, pretty standard build, looking to get up to the next stage very soon. 1 deposit of gold will do that. There it is, going up with the economic wing, no surprises there. It will unlock fresh foodstuffs for him, and if he does get fresh foodstuffs, well, that will make his villagers half the price. 2 for the price of 1 for the Abbasid dynasty today. It's a special civilization with the villagers being cheaper. The town centers will be running quicker for the Chinese if he does go up with the Song dynasty, with no idea if he's going to do that just yet. Let's have a look if he did actually get survival techniques. So, Puppypaw looking to pioneer the survival techniques build on the deer. You get that food fast for the Chinese, and just see how fast that food's coming in here. Plenty of food in reserve for Puppypaw. And what's really interesting here, though, is 3DB as the Abbasid dynasty actually went for the sheep first. This is a little bit interesting because the berry bushes for the Abbasid dynasties are boosted, and I suspect one of the reasons why 3DB has done this is because it allows them to get well, no, actually most builds you can still get with the 2 town centre build. You can still often afford the lumber camp early. In any case, he's still going for the berries now. It's not as if it's going to make a huge amount of difference, but berries, of course, with the Abbasid dynasty has been bolstered with the total amount of food increased by the influence of the mill. Also, the berry pickers appear to pick those berries a bit faster, a bit more efficient. Oh, this is a bit of a problem for 3DB. He might use a scout. Hand cannon slits obviously in the town centre. Actually managed to get away with it. Going up with the Imperial Academy here for Puppypaw, we'll be able to get some more Imperial officials from this landmark. And if you guys aren't aware, the Imperial Academy does allow the tax gold from nearby buildings to be bolstered by 100%. Oh, a lot of sheep being brought out by Puppypaw. There is the feudal age for 3DB. Will he be looking to put some aggression here? Will he be going for stone here? He's actually going for stone for that second town centre. He'll want to maximise the fresh foodstuffs technology, as you can see. It will be coming in about 20 seconds, reducing the cost of village production. He'll be taking 4 villagers to stone to get that up, and he will need to go for some villagers on wood so we can afford the wood for the town centre. Of course, town centres cost 400 wood, 300 gold. Puppypaw maybe looking to get some more gold in so we can get the Song Dynasty. It appears that's what he's going to do first, Song Dynasty first, and then the second town centre later, if at all. No guarantees with the Chinese. Song Dynasty can be incredibly powerful on its own. Going for an archery range here, it's 3DB. No Barbican of the Sun just yet. Relatively slow start for the Altai game. We'd expect that, though. Over the archery range being put down. I mean, if he does commit to some archers here, 3DB, that will delay his second town centre quite significantly. Actually going for a camel archer. Very expensive unit. Okay, 6 villages being brought forward. I think it's going to be for a forward Barbican, maybe around the sacred site. I suspect we'll be getting a Barbican in the sun, but the issue is that a camel archer will be popping out, and that'll be doing lots of damage. I'm not entirely sure if 3DB does have, or Puppypaw rather has textiles. He doesn't. Let's back with the villagers. These guys are just dilly-dallying a bit. I think he's going to put Barbican of the Sun near the boar. Might even be an outpost. Can't afford the Barbican just yet. That's why he hasn't placed it down. Does look like he's waiting for it though, so it will be the Barbican. Oh no, it's actually going to be an outpost. I thought he was waiting for the 200 gold. He's going to go for an outpost there first. I think he notices that the camel archers popping up, and Chinese villagers will build the outpost pretty fast, but he might lose 1 or 2. Yeah, he might lose 1 villager. Oh no, he's not going to lose 1. Oh, he will. Camel archer. For a second there, I thought the camel archer was focusing on a different villager. Villagers are going to start to build the Barbican though. So it was the Barbican, that was the initial play, but I think the early pressure for 3DB forced him into an outpost. That's 100 wood that he's forced him into. But it is another static defense, to be fair. Now the camel archer is going to start to fire out on the scout. Does 3DB? He's actually continuing with the camel archers. Does have 300 stone and enough wood for a second town centre though, 3DB. But just need to see where he puts that second town centre. Whether he goes forwards to the second... Where is the second ball? That is the question. Second ball is actually on the outer ridge here. Okay, second town centre. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What the hell is this about? 3DB going for a forward town centre. And this is an issue because Puppypaw can rush up an outpost. And there's a Chinese villagers doing it as well. And these villagers are going to be sniped. I don't think 3DB can take this. He's going to have to delete that. That is painful. I'm not sure why he tried that. But he's going to go further back now. And it's in a nice spot though. Won't deny it. But the thing is, Puppypaw could just afford another outpost. Actually, doesn't have the wood for it. That's a problem. Puppypaw had the wood for another outpost. That could have been a significant issue. I'm going to try and mine it now. Shukini popping out as well. Puppypaw going hyper aggressive here. And he's actually going to keep the Barbican and Sun in between. Not sure how I feel about this. The town centre will go up. That's a dynasty. Looking to be aggressive with the second town centre. Village is being pulled for the second outpost. Trouble is, camel archers won't be able to take care of the village because there's an outpost being garrisoned there. And villagers will make it in time, I think. The town centre will go up, but the villagers won't be able to work here efficiently because of the outpost going up. And actually, the villagers might be going down for Puppypaw. Villagers do garrison side at the town centre. And the outpost will go up, but at what cost? 3 villagers at least. Yeah, it was 3 villagers in the end, and maybe even a 4th. Yeah, it was 4 villagers that went down there, so we'd be getting good value, all things considered. The villagers here are a little bit stranded. Forward production buildings. Things got really messy really quickly here, that is for sure. You don't really expect to see this happening. I was expecting the town centre to be a little bit more safe and secure. Wait, is that a 3rd town centre? Yeah, the Abbasid dynasty going for a 3rd town centre, being pretty greedy here. So he's got a 2nd town centre forward, just going to be a bit annoying. More of a harassment factor rather than anything else. He's going to get a 3rd town centre on the berries at the back. Now, this is actually quite significant because 3DB, if he's aggressive from here, if he does get a ram or 2, maybe able to put some pressure on the Barbican and the Sun and maybe even access Well, he won't be able to take the boar anyway, to be fair. Actually, just realised that the Bastard Dynasty can't harvest the boar. Looks like Puppypaw going to get an outpost there as well. Going to be... This is a problem for 3DB. He's invested a lot in the town centre. The villagers won't be able to work efficiently because of the outpost that's there. Their town centre looking to be up and running there for the Bastard Dynasty. Don't forget though, Song Dynasty is in play. Let's take a look at the village count though. 31 for Puppy, 37 for 3DB. Economy wise, 3DB doing better of the two so far. Bit of an awkward scenario here, isn't it? Yep, couple of archers going around on the right side now. But Puppypaw has done well to get an outpost here. We'll protect that economy, especially because a lot of the food economy is actually here on the right side, which I believe 3DB is probably aware of. Can he get some archers garrisoned inside the town centre? Villager pops out. He can't safely come out. He has to come out on this side. He does go down. This is the issue. 3DB, once these berries are taken, you have to wonder what these villagers are going to do. They might have to escape, make a run for it on the left side. I'm not sure this is a way through, actually. There's actually no way through there. That's going to become a problem. In any case, we talked about it before. A ram is starting to be built. Double stable as well. Looks like 3DB is going to be piling on the pressure in the feed age. No real indication going to the castle. He's got plenty of food though. You see villagers being lost here. Hand cannon slits and placement in that outpost is a bit of a problem here for 3DB. Villagers having to migrate. 10 of them are idle right now. They need to get an outpost here and maybe take some stone. Needs to do something with this. Maybe even placing a lumber camp could be useful. I'm not sure if he has the wood for it. Yeah, he does. He does have the wood for it. Could do it. Yeah, that is indeed the case. He needs to keep the villagers working. Oh my god, he's certainly going heavy on the feed age. Yep, the Bastard Dynasty means business today. Getting the ram, going to be taking that outpost. That's actually a nice play. We can take care of this outpost. Oh, the villagers there though. Archers need to be brought in to try and defend the ram. Ram will deal with this. 3DB's economy looking pretty strong though. 49 villagers versus the 41. Camel Archer does go down. Outpost gets taken out, but at what cost? Lost a lot of resources there. Oh, this is a big raid here. The wood line does get taken out. Puppypaw just takes the lead. But well, there were 10 villagers there. 44 villagers for a B, 42 for Puppypaw. That is a huge amount of damage. Don't forget the Chinese economy will be looking better here because of the supervision of the Imperial officials. Horsemen looking to dive in, but this outpost has been fortified. Ram is going to cause some damage, but I don't know, the Zhugnu are going to deal with this pretty nicely. Ram has been garrisoned with 6 archers. The archer's probably going to pop out, but you know, keeps them in. Good thing for Puppypaw is there's no villagers actually garrisoned inside this town centre. The archer's going to be sniped down by the horseman. The horseman Zhugnu push. We talked about B committing to the feudal age. Well, so is Puppypaw. He's pushing this back very nicely with the Zhugnu and the horseman in front of the meat shield. Actually looks like 3DB is struggling here. He's going to lose his military fight, and once he does, the town centre is going to be incredibly exposed. The Zhugnu getting huge amounts of value. Horseman acting as a meat shield and doing great work here. Camel archers aren't enough here. Only 2. And Puppypaw managing to push this back very nicely. Once that does get pushed back, the horseman going to continue to put pressure on the ram. Looks like the ram will be taken out. That's a huge amount of wood investment lost there. And the village count all not that different despite having been 3 town centres 3DB. Only 3 villages ahead. That's a problem. Zhugnu actually doing pretty well here. Now it'll be Zhugnu versus Camel Archers and Archers. I just get the feeling that Zhugnu should win here. It might come down to the blacksmith upgrades. B doesn't have any. Neither does Puppypaw. Getting Steeled Arrow now. That's 10 centre is pretty much idled. A couple of villagers there on the left. Archers are building a ram. 3DB very keen to see this one out. I think he recognises that the Chinese can be incredibly strong, especially with the Song Dynasty. Pretty even on the village count though. Yep, both players committing to the feudal age. This is a feudal age affair. Puppypaw are committing to another archery range. Triple archery range and a stable with an outpost in the front has been fortified. When a ram comes out for Puppypaw, Archer's going to head forward for 3DB, especially with the horseman looking to try and take down that ram. But the problem is he's got Jugnu behind. Jugnu will get some good damage here against the horseman. Will he fire on the horseman first or the archers? Remains to be seen. It's actually on the horseman. And this is looking rough for 3DB. The Jugnu are going to take a relatively good trade against the archers. Archers head back for 3DB. He's standing and fighting. I don't think he can afford to. He heads back. He decides better of it. Now the town center is likely to go down. Horsemen are coming in reinforcement for 3DB, but only 2 of them won't be enough. The Jugnu are going to fire off at the horsemen. And this is a fight that you feel that Puppypaw should win. And things are spiraling out of control here. 3DB going to struggle here. Does take care of the ram though. That'll buy him some time for the second town center. The outpost doing great work here. Double ram coming out. Not sure if he has the military to back this up, but Jugnu are really starting to build up in numbers here. It's a lot of Jugnu, guys. 25 of them. Back at home, economy buzzing here for the Abbasid dynasty. Just looking at the resources count, you can see both players spending everything. Puppypaw does actually have a significant amount of stone involved in his bank. Might be looking to get some emplacements. Not sure if he has a market to trade either. In any case, both players going heavy feudal age, B getting a lot of archers, a couple of horsemen in front acting as a meat shield, but the Jugnu just a straight up better unit here. Horsemen are going to focus on the archers. Good micro hit for Puppypaw. And the horsemen for the 3DB do get taken down. That's a huge investment. That has been taken down, and the Rams going to be looking to take on the Barbican of the Sun. Villagers being pulled to take out the Rams on the front lines. The Jugnu chasing down with the horsemen as well, and get the feeling that Puppypaw is on a roll here. He's got the momentum. The Jugnu are not standing and fighting yet. They do now. They snipe out the horsemen, and this is a problem here. Puppypaw is starting to steamroll this. 3DB on the back foot, sending a couple of archers to their death. And the issue for 3DB is that whilst he might take a lot of HP on the Barbican and the Sun, he won't be able to take care of it completely. Villagers trying to escape here on the third town center for 3DB. Horsemen die down. There's just not enough numbers there. And looks like the Jugnu going to take care of the ram first before heading further forward. Only 3 villagers torching it down. He will want to keep that Barbican and the Sun alive, and once he does, that will be a very good staging ground to attack from. And 3DB's aggression is all but done. Outpost rush coming in. 16 minutes. That's where the stone was being spent. We weren't aware of it. And now this is a really strong staging ground for Puppypaw to build from. And 3DB does have rams coming out on the field, but it doesn't have the military to defend them, you feel. And you get the feeling that slowly but surely behind this, with Puppypaw's economy buzzing, it's going to be struggling. 3DB's going to struggle to push this back, I feel. He's getting the rams out now, but these guys are being fortified as well, so it will take extra time for these things to go down. 1,700 HP on these things. It's not a joke. Jugnu aren't even half bad at taking down the rams. Gonna micro this well, take down the horseman. Hasn't got enough to one-shot the horseman yet though. Yeah, takes an engagement here. Horseman on horseman, archers on the Jugnu. And the issue is that the outpost does have hand cannon slits as well, so this is a fight that 3DB again continuously to lose because there are 3 outposts they're firing off. It is on fire. I wonder whether Puppypaw has a villager on hand to repair. Ram gets taken down. I think Puppypaw is going to head back here. Let's take a look at the village count. 68 for Puppypaw, 77 for 3DB. So B does have a stronger economy. Well, it's arguable because villages for Puppypaw are being supervised on the lumber camp by the Imperial official. Now we see the rams coming out for Puppypaw, 3 of them. Puppypaw managed to keep that outpost alive. Well, that came out for nothing there. 3DB hasn't been able to take down that outpost, and it is being repaired now. Slowly but surely, Puppypaw moving forward, edging forward with his rams, and rams getting good damage output on the second town center. Looks like farming transition coming in for 3DB. Actually giving up a lot of map control here, and I wonder even if the boar is being taken. Puppypaw has a lot of map control. He could even consider taking the boar. But 3 rams here, going to be taking out the second town center. Looks like Puppypaw is going to be Really starting to edge further forward. Going to be taking out the production buildings as well. Looks like 3DB is going to struggle here. He needs to replace those production buildings back at home. He is doing so. But it's going to be very expensive in terms of wood. And the Zhugnu numbers starting to build up here. Puppypaw takes down that second town center. Now working on the production buildings. There are 3 rams on the field. And slowly but surely, Puppypaw heading forward. He's spending everything. He's committing to the feud age. 3DB needs to hold on somehow. There's no breathing space for 3DB. There's no way he's going to get to the castle age. He needs to commit feudal age here. Try and defend somehow. And more outposts going on the front line for Puppypaw. Defended by the horsemen and Zhugnu. Lumbercap on fire. Horseman going to edge forward. Lots of archers here. Looks like 3DB heading the archer route, and that probably is the way to play this. Puppypaw does have iron under mesh quite significantly. So does 3DB. They've got the full feudal age upgrades here. Exactly what they need, but Puppypaw in behind this has an untouched economy. That's the thing. 3DB's villages are scrambling here. Some of these villages on the woodline are going to be going down. Production buildings going down as well. That's wood investment. It needs to be put in place. The outpost will be going up as well. Hand cannon slits immediately queued up, I suspect. Well, not just yet. Doesn't have the gold for it. Does have the gold now. Hand cannon slits. Yeah, slowly pushing forward with the outpost. Another outpost going forward. Stable being taken down, and this is looking bad here for 3DB. I think he might call it soon. He's under so much pressure from the archers. Zhugnu in behind with some horseman support. Yeah, this is looking tough here for 3DB. Again, stable being taken down by the rounds. Villagers being pulled. Zhugnu versus archers. You get the feeling that Zhugnu will win this fight. And with this fight, that might be 3DB down and out. Puppypaw looking strong here in the feudal age. 20-minute feudal age. Ram does get taken out by one village or by a group of villagers. He has sacrificed a lot there. 79 villagers versus 82. Relatively equal though in numbers of villagers. But it's just a military here. This fight could be key. Rams again pushing forward again with Puppypaw. The Zhugnu going to take the archer mass out. 3DB committing. He's not backing down. The fight does spiral out of control. Another outpost going to go down on the front line, and now edging further forward is going to have sight on the House of Wisdom. Puppypaw edging further forward. Villagers being pulled is going to lose a lot of the villagers to the Zhugnu, and 3DB under so much pressure in this game 3 of this best of 3, and you get the feeling that 3DB is going to be tapping out. He's losing his archer mass. I'm not sure if he noticed that. He stood and fought, and it wasn't the fight to take because those archers do now die. And the Zhugnu going to start to harass the villagers on the farms. And once he loses the farming economy, that's going to be him down and out. And 3DB struggling here in this best of 3. Puppypaw looking favourite to get to the semi-finals. And the Zhugnu is just going to camp the hill here on the farms. And you get the feeling a GG is going to be imminent. Puppypaw edging forward, further forward with outposts. And that is it. 3DB taps out. Puppypaw takes this best of 3, 2 games to 1. And he is the player to go to the semi-finals. What a fantastic set. We saw a lot of hybrid maps, but today on Altai, that was the deciding factor. Chinese versus the Bastard Dynasty. Chinese take the win, and Puppypaw heads to the semi-finals. Hope you guys enjoyed this casted game, and if you did, if you're watching on YouTube, do give the video a thumbs up. If you're watching on Twitch live, we're going to be heading straight into another set. Take care, and see you next time.